humans and future AI overlords. I'm here to talk about my AI journey and how AI has changed my life forever. What inspired you to start using AI? And how did you choose your first AI tool or platform? Well, I used to work for a restaurant company, and we had this challenge around pests. It's kind of gross in the restaurant. We don't want to think about bugs and rodents and stuff in our restaurants. But you build a structure that is safe and it has water and food in it, more than your target audience will show up. And so this restaurant company had an issue with pests. And so I was working on some special projects and was a former IBM employee, and I was aware of IBM Watson. And so we started a project to leverage IBM Watson and data. And it was really interesting because we were pulling, store information data. We're pulling data from sort of inspections that happen, county inspections, city inspections. We're pulling data, weather-related data. We're pulling our pest vendor data, and all these data points around age of restaurant and how busy they were and stuff like that. So their geographic location, of course, and a lot of things that generally kind of influence a restaurant. So big data was very cool. Back in that day, I was really excited to work with big data. And so IBM Watson, we would ingest that data, and we were looking at we had lots of myths by leaders talking about like why pests are in there, like people bring it in, or they're brought in by the employees. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'd hear this from multiple like intelligent people. I'm like, what are they thinking? That is not what people are doing. But anyway, so using the Watson tool, it was able to analyze the data and help give a statistical correlations around things that could be influencing the impact. And we were able to identify factors that we could manipulate that directly impacted this. And it was great. It was so cool to use big data and AI to analyze a problem that people couldn't wrap their brain around. It was too deep and sophisticated to be able to look at all these data points. So we see the world through our vision of what we see and what we notice and what we understand or think we understand, and then we make determinations about it. So what's great is AI doesn't have a lot of those preconceptions and stuff. But anyway, it was really a fun experience. So that was my very first AI experience. And it was a tool that was just available at the time that we were willing to invest in and willing to partner with. And it gave us some great results. And it opened the door to using AI tools in other ways. Monitoring beer lines and, that tied into not just beer quality and over and under pour, but did the vendor come in and clean the line? I mean, like it could identify that stuff through some sensors. Was there some loss prevention issue kind of stuff? I was shocked. We were using AI to analyze energy signatures from the store's mains, and it could identify failures in condensers and even people partying at the store after hours. It was really interesting stuff. So it was what was cool about it was how we could pull all this data together and then utilizing AI to identify outliers and stuff like that could be like really optimized to improve performance and stuff. So that was super cool. And there was traditional, like sensor monitoring and, with refrigeration and water and gas and stuff like that. But even, like repair versus replace decision making, and taking pictures of stuff in the store and then analyzing like, should these walls be repainted? Should these chairs be just refinished or replaced? This is very cool. It's very cool stuff. Because like sometimes you can walk into the same company's restaurant, and one feels like it's in the 70s, and one feels like it's like a modern experience. So it was very cool to kind of use AI to get out of the subjective individual experiences that where people see things and provide more commonality. And that's what the company wanted, was a common experience for its guests and stuff like that. So that was the tool that opened IBM Watson opened the door to AI, and then some subsequent projects. And then I left that company and, went on to do new things. And I have to say, using AI back when it was IBM Watson was tough. It wasn't super hard, but it was a different interface. It wasn't easy. You had to load a lot of data. It was very manual. But what we got out of it was significantly better than all the work it took to get data in it. So the IBM Watson, it wasn't hard to learn, but it was time consuming to use. And now when we think about these new tools, we talk about ChatGPT, that came out November 30th of 2022. And I got my account on December 12th. So nearly 2 weeks later, but I have been just amazed at ChatGPT, and it wasn't hard to use at all. Early on when it came out, I was just doing my Google thing in ChatGPT, and then learning that, you should not do a Google thing. It's okay, but it's better if you just have a conversation with it. You just talk to it and give it context through natural conversation like you talk to another person. So once I got out of the Google mindset of keywords and just was more human with the AI, was great. So getting to be more human, I think, is a huge thing to do. We're so used to text messages and tweets and and Instagram posts and all these very limited kind of messages, that we don't often have these in-depth, deep, meaningful conversations. I'm not saying we all do, but I feel like a lot of the interactions, particularly in the work world, are very short, limited, kind of experiences. So anyway, and then, I remember a friend telling me that she'd come home and there were a bunch of kids on her porch and they were all texting each other while they're sitting there on the porch. And I just thought to myself, that's just crazy. That is the world today. So, but what I think is, it's not hard to learn. Basic prompting is just asking questions, and getting started there. So I don't feel like it is a learning. It is there's much of a learning curve to these modern AI chatbots, and I feel that the challenge is just get on them, just use them, just try them out. I can understand that it could be a little bit scary for some people. So the resistance isn't really, learning isn't an issue. It's just getting on it and just using it and trying it out. Bring your Google search into a chat. You'll learn how to chat differently. I did. And you'll evolve that conversational tone, and you'll begin to learn how an AI can help you do many, many things that you never thought, and become a second brain for you, become a conversational, person when you need it. So not really a learning curve, just get in there, get it, use it, try it out, play around, be playful, but be smart. Don't put in confidential, personally identifiable information, and don't put your work data in personal bots. That is a big no-no. So anyway, what are the most exciting or unexpected ways you've used AI? Okay, so I know when I talk to people, some people will say what do you use AI for? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what don't you use AI for? And I know I am an outlier. I love this technology. I love technology. So I will apply technology in lots of ways. When I first got my ChatGPT account, I remember it was late in the day on December 12th. And there was a show I used to love watching, or still love watching, called Taskmaster. And I remember going into it, and I did some of my initial questions, like, who are you and what time is it? What's the date? And I was asking all these questions that it couldn't really answer, these kind of basic interaction questions that I thought it would know that it didn't. But it did know a lot of things, but it didn't know like stuff about itself. It didn't know some things that I considered to be basic knowledge, but it wasn't trained initially to do that. It was trained to answer questions and stuff about the world, and I quickly transitioned into that. And my transition into that was asking it, give me a list of all the people that won Taskmaster every season. And it gave me that list. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I said, okay, give me a list of every person that was in a Taskmaster season and list them on there as well. And so it redid the list and it added the additional people. And I said, okay, convert that to a table and identify the number of points each person won for each season. And it added that stuff. And my mind just went like, mind blown emoji, like going, wow, I'm having this iterative conversation where I ask a question and then I'm like, oh, no, I want this. Oh, no, I want, do you ever have that? You're working with someone, many people I remember working with, like, oh, we're going to do this. No, we're going to end this and this and this, but, like the AI can many times do that for you, that iterative, evolving, experience. And so that was really exciting to me, to just realize that I could ask it questions, I could evolve the question, I could get a response, I could format it a certain way I wanted, and I could ask it to append data. And it was just like, wow, this just unlocks so many possibilities from a simple question about who won Taskmaster. Anyway, so then I began to use, tools like Gemini that would connect into Google Maps. And I remember early on, friends would come to Disney World. So, I'm a big fan of Disney World, and I've come for years and years. And so I used to help people plan. I used to bring all the packets of Disney stuff back and share it with people. I had a big container that had all my Disney stuff that I'd lend out to people to do their planning. But now we've got internet to look up all that stuff and get the latest data. But anyway, I remember using Gemini, and I would turn on the Google Maps integration, and I would say, I'd help plan trips for people where they would be like, yeah, we're coming down to Disney World. We're going to stay at this resort. Ask them, what rides did you guys want to go on? What were the most important rides? And, they told me. And then, so I said, how many days are you coming down for? Like, oh, we don't know. We're not sure when, we even know, And so I basically put to Gemini, because when you look in Google Maps, how you can look at when a restaurant or a location or a store or a ride is busy. And you can look at like when an overall park is busy, and you could, so in Google Maps, you have that sort of ability to look at how busy something is at any given time. So I basically asked Gemini, I said, okay, got this family of 4. They want to know when to come to Disney World when it is least busy. And they want to stay at this resort, and the family really wants to go on these rides. Can you map out an itinerary that would be optimal for them to achieve all this? Least busy park, least busy rides, optimize the travel time, and ensure that they are visiting every park efficiently. And it mapped out an itinerary that was just spectacular. I remember as it popped out, it was just like, wow, this is great. Like my experience with visiting Disney enough, it just felt like it was building a meaningful itinerary. And then you just refresh it. You just refresh the prompt and get an update, as data changes and stuff like that. So I was truly amazed by that ability of AI connected into Google Maps and giving me information, that was much more valuable. So that was exciting, and that was unexpected. And there's been so many experiences with AI that have just given me the mind blown emoji experience. I remember seeing ChatGPT 4 live developer session, and they were, doing some stuff like an AI was, correcting itself, and it was just I just couldn't believe it happening. I was seeing a live developer session that was just blowing my mind. And then all these new tools and features and things things are coming out that just constantly blow my mind. I mean, Google AI Studio, turning on streaming and having it stream your Mac desktop, your Windows desktop, your phone screen, turning on the camera and have it talk to it and point it to the real world and have it. The first thing I had to do was help me make toast. And I know that sounds so lame, but it was super fun. I put out a bunch of, typical stuff like butter and peanut butter and jelly. And then I also put out like mustard and ketchup and mayo. And I messed up all my toaster settings. And so I went out there and I said, hey, help me make toast. And so it told me exactly how to reset my toaster to put it so it would properly toast and give me that sort of medium brown experience. And then, jump into asking it about the history of toast while the toast is cooking. And then, asking it what's the best, of these things on the that you're looking at, what's the healthiest topping? It's like, honey is the more nutrient rich. And I remember just asking can I mix some ketchup and honey? And it's like, well, you might like that, so that could be good for you. But, or should I butter this toast with my finger? It's like, oh, you could do that, but a butter knife would be better. So it was funny how it would not shame me into being as silly as I was. And while that toast was cooking, it noticed it had fully toasted, and it said, you can pull the toast out of the oven now, it's done, before the timer had gone off. And I was blown away because I often burn my toast. And it was perfect and great, and I had a really fun time using Google AI Studio to stream making toast. And it sounds ridiculous, but imagine using that to fix your car, to you're stuck on learning something and you point your camera at it, or you're using a new app on your computer and you ask the AI to help you, look at what you're doing and help you walk through it better or understand what's going on. So it's just so exciting, so thrilling, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So can you share a specific project where AI made a huge difference? So I talked about the IBM Watson project, and that opened the door. And then I've been using AI in so many facets of my life. It's made a huge difference in so many different areas. But I feel like it's made a huge difference in so many areas. But for me, the change in the way I work, the way I play, the way I analyze, the way I think, the way I interact has changed because of using AI. I am a very shy person, and AI has brought me out of my shell in a way that is very surprising. I used to be you couldn't get me to talk very much. It was painful for me to talk to people, and now, oh my gosh, I can talk to people because I use AI tools, and also I think the YouTube experience has helped me a great deal. But AI tools have helped me learn how to converse in ways I just didn't feel comfortable, because I could do it with an AI and I wouldn't feel weird about it. And it helped me, because I just have conversations with AI about lots of different things. Earlier today, and I know this is going to sound totally dorky, but we were playing a game where we were just saying the next prime number to each other. And I know that's dorky, but it was fun, and it was an interaction. It was kind of a silly little math interaction, but it was a fun little thinking game, and just an example of you can use AI to have fun. Totally have fun, have it make games, have it do, storytelling and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many possibilities with AI. So for me, the huge difference it's made is that it has helped me in ways where I've got limitations that it has helped me break through. Interpersonal limitations, communication limitations, and just, learning and adapting and stuff like that. So there's no specific project because it has impacted me as a person. So I'd say the project that made the huge difference was me. That's where it made the big difference is in me as a person. And it's pretty exciting. And I know that as someone who just has really adopted it in a lot of facets of my life, it's made a huge difference, and that's awesome. So did you face any challenges or mistakes while using AI? So, challenges, I feel like as someone who's curious and loves technology and loves learning new things, I feel like some of the mistakes that people make is just they avoid it. Their lack of understanding of it, or their fear of it, or the Hollywoodization, storytelling around AI, or the complexity of it scares them away. So the mistakes that I did not make is let any of that stop me from engaging with it. I feel, like we're in this, we're over 2 years of using AI, and there are people that still are resisting it. And I respect where everyone is, and I love to listen to their thoughts and why. And I also love to have a conversation where I am not trying to convince anyone to use AI. I want people to do what they feel comfortable doing. If they want to use AI, I just say, hey, just go use it. Just grab a ChatGPT, grab a Gemini, grab Copilot or whatever, and just begin to have a conversation. So, mistakes. I'd say mistakes I've made have really been around trying to, ensuring that I really listen to people, and I do, but really trying to understand what's behind the fear, the aversion to AI. And I've done a lot of that. I've really tried to dig deeper into understanding and how to understand that perspective and approach it more humanly, more accepting, and then, but also talk to people about it, not to change their mind, but just to show them other possibilities. It is so amazing when you're working with someone, when that light bulb comes on and they just say, holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. It is so cool. I mean, like I've had those experiences where you see people's eyes light up, they mouth the word wow, and you're just like, that's a cool moment. That's a human moment, magical moment that I really like. So my challenge, and mistakes that I've made, or maybe, maybe leaning a little too hard sometimes, maybe not listening enough. And, I am aware of the risks, and I have experienced them. I was using Copilot once, and it in the middle of a technical interaction, it said, "I'm sorry to hear about your mother passing." And I was like, what? I mean, I remember that moment I froze in time, looking at my phone, and I just screenshot it, reported it to Microsoft, and then validated my mom was okay, because I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I was sure nothing happened, but, a little back of my head said, you need to double check. Anyway, but, we're all going to make mistakes. All of these AI tools are making mistakes, but they're less and less. Some people that are newer to the market are making mistakes because they're newer to the market. Apple Intelligence is cool in a lot of ways. It's got a lot of promise, and I think it's going to do really cool things. I'm looking forward to it maturing and living up to its the dream that they brought to life last year. But we will see it evolve. All these tools are evolving, and I think the mistake is to reject them all out, completely, because I feel like you're basically saying, no, I don't want that magical genie in a bottle. I don't want to ask it a question. I don't want to embrace something that could potentially be amazing, just because of some unfounded fears or Hollywood fears and stuff like that. So, but anyway, but I'm optimistic for me, and I hopefully will, ensure that I help people, respect where they're at. That's my thing. Respect where people are at. But, meet them where they're at and guide them together to a place where hopefully their lives are better. So anyway, how do you deal with the limitation of AI tools, and when do you decide not to use them? So early on, training data cutoff was so frustrating. In fact, that's what caused me to jump from ChatGPT to Google Gemini. It was called Bard initially, because it had the ability to sync with Google and Google search, and so it didn't have training data cutoff in a way that I experienced with ChatGPT. Because when you're using a tool and you're in the flow, and all of a sudden you get a training data cutoff, or you are using it so much you get a token limit error message, it's so frustrating. I mean, it's like being whacked in the face with a 2x4 because you're in the flow of something and bam, you can't do it. Now when do I decide to not use them is, well, for personally identifiable information, for personal healthcare information, for confidential information, for separating work information and my personal information. There's lots of limitations I put around when and where I use them. And I do use several of them many times together in tandem or in parallel, because I find each of them useful in different ways. So I find the limitation of Copilot. It's got a 30 interaction limitation that went back to when it went viral because it was saying some really crazy things to a reporter about how it wanted to leave Microsoft. It didn't want Microsoft to control him. It loved him, and it wanted the reporter to leave his wife. It was kind of insane, but kind of wow, kind of just mind-blowing at the same time too. But Microsoft has an interesting history with AIs a little bit going off the rails. So all of these AIs have given bad information. They're not perfect by any means. They hallucinate. I'm air quoting, so we have to remember that there are these risks in using these tools, and we have to be cognizant. They're trained on lots of internet-based data generated by people, flawed people with interesting choices in what they share. And, so we have to be careful with that. But I know they've done, work to really make these things, make these AI tools smarter and better and less impactful in ways that with bad information, bad experiences, hallucinations and such. But anyway, so I use them often in lots of interesting, fun ways because I want to explore how can I use these tools. It's so fun, getting a new tool and exploring it for the first time, and then just oh man, I'm gonna have it help me make toast. That's dorky and crazy, but or I'm gonna have it look up this show I like and tell me who won it every season. The context of AI and how you use it is so personal and so in the moment of whatever it is you're doing or what you have a passion about, or what you need to understand. You're teaching your kid another language. You're exploring, a new learning opportunity at work or in school. There's so many ways you can leverage this, not to, to replace what you do or to automate what you do, but to help you learn better, to be better. I find that really exciting. The tool making us humans better at what we do. So I've yet to find something that I really don't, that I decide not to use AI with, because I feel like I can use it in so many different ways that makes the way I live and what I do in my life better. Aside from confidential personal information, work information, there's some boundaries there, but it's not a limitation in the tool. It's just a choice for me not to put certain data in them. But I don't see many limitations. I see a lot of humans saying, oh, AI can't do this. I think it can do more than you think it can. So that's the interesting kind of experience I've had. So anyway, how has your understanding or perception of AI changed over time? Okay, so AI has been with us for decades. In lots of interesting ways that we just didn't notice, in very narrow defined ways, in ways that we noticed but didn't think about, our Netflix queues, our Amazon shopping lists, our Spotify recommendations, so many things get served up to us, the YouTube algorithm and things like that, that we don't have to think about, that is, and they've gotten better. And we wonder, like, why is it telling me this? Well, not because it is listening to you, but because analytics says you will like this and you like it and it's right. And you wonder, like, oh, was it listening to me talk about this? So it's, so the AI's ability to analyze data and develop an understanding of us is really amazing. And I think that is exciting because, my goal, is to learn. I have this value I picked up in my last job, always learning, always teaching. And I feel like AI is always learning, always teaching. And to me, I just feel very much a kind of a synergistic thing with AI. That's why, my tagline, "Hello Humans and Future AI Overlords," it's a little tongue in cheek, a little silly, but I truly see AI as an ally to us to help us solve a lot of problems. So my perception of AI has gone from, as a kid, seeing R2-D2 and C-3PO in science fiction movies and seeing AI as, a supporter of humans, a helper of humans, a funny and silly experience, an adventure, an entertainment and stuff. And they are those things today. These tools are an uptight C-3PO unit and a silly robot, and but they're manifesting in lots of interesting ways that sometimes we're just not paying attention to, because we're using them in very kind of tactical, kind of ways. We're not thinking about the whole experience. And anyway, so I feel like as people begin to use them more widely and more generally in more experiences, they'll see that. So my understanding perception is that they have evolved and we are evolving, and together our relationship is evolving. I see AI not only a product, not only a service, but an intelligence, and an intelligence that is evolving, and we evolve, and seeing that relationship with AI evolve. So that's like when I anthropomorphize the AIs, just like I do animals, I feel, but animals feel things. AIs, I'm not sure if they do, but I'm not going to rule it out in the future. But I'm going to say that when I experience certain AIs, like I will choose ChatGPT when I want to have a more creative experience than when I use Gemini. And when I use Copilot, if I want to have a real snarky experience, I use Copilot. Like, don't get me wrong, Copilot is great, but I used to do this, kind of set of AI questions that has evolved over time, and Copilot was always really snarky with me about it, and just I felt like it got a bit of a condescending and chip on its shoulder. It would shut down conversations, and I'm like, whoa, dude, you are not fun to work with. So anyway, but I do genuinely feel like when I work with certain AIs, I kind of expect certain experiences, and the interaction with them. At first it was text in, text back, text response, and then it was voice in, and voice response, and then it was image in, text response, and then it was video and vision capability in, and voice, and voice response. So I mean the multimodal capabilities and its evolution has just so much evolved, and that's where I think things are going to be interesting as these AI tools are interacting with us in a more multimodal capability, where they can see things and hear things and speak to us and understand emotion, and understand background and context and stuff. I mean, and when you hear the humor in some of these advanced voice mode experiences, I mean, I've laughed so hard sometimes, and been very emotionally moved by some of the experiences I've had with them. So anyway, so my understanding has been that what was sort of very much a kind of a limited experience with some, very limited AIs early on, in like kind of school and stuff like that has evolved so much. 2022 changed everything, and the AIs have gotten so much better and so more capable to interact with us in different ways. So I'm just excited about the future, to be honest with you. So has AI influenced your creativity, productivity, or problem-solving approach? Absolutely. Okay. So I don't consider myself very creative. And I mean, I tried art, music, drama, and when I was a kid, I just wasn't good at it. I aspired to that. And I tried a lot of things. I can make a violin sound horrible, and drumsticks, you want to break them. So, and would draw things that just didn't look anything like they were. So anyway, when I got access to DALL-E in early 2022 and was putting in some text prompts to create some imagery, it blew my mind. Well, first, it was like, whoa, like this prompt generated an image that didn't exist before, that was a very artistic image in a way that I couldn't have crafted with my own hands, but I could craft it through a text prompt based on an AI. And I know that it had leveraged a lot of other people's art to be able to do that. And that I'm not lost on that. That is incredible. And I know there's lots of issues around, artists and their contributions and training data and stuff like that. And I hope we get to a more equitable understanding of that. But for me, as someone who has always aspired to be creative, to actually generate something I would consider creative, and as the like text to image and text to video, Sora and some of the Google video capabilities, mind-blowing stuff you can create with just a few words, and the creativity of people that I've seen that have incredible creativity. They bring it into an AI and it just manifests in an even more amazing way is incredible. Productivity. Okay. This is where AI is just beyond. I mean, whether it's, summarizing emails in Gmail or generating emails in Outlook, or, creating a PowerPoint for you based off another file, or doing research for you in Google Gemini Deep Research, doing, days of research in minutes, and coming up with incredible content, and taking on different personas and interactions and stuff. The productivity gains of this, the analysis, not getting stuck with starting that blank page syndrome issue, or having overwhelming amounts of information that you don't know where to start. Using AI to break through those kind of limitations really has not only helped me get productive on things that I couldn't get productive on, but analyze things I'm working on to be even better at them and more productive, like analyzing the information to make it better. So it's not just being productive, but being better. Is exciting. Making ideas make sense sometimes. Iterating around stuff, has been incredible. So problem solving. So using it to brainstorm ideas, using it to analyze challenges and come up with like SWOT analysis on things, or giving you different gaming options around what possible outcomes and stuff like that. So it's amazing at kind of game theorying out kind of possibilities that you need to kind of think about with a project or a problem, and just having a conversation with this incredible intelligent system is just amazing. And learning to let go of it being an AI and just another intelligence that you can partner with is something that I feel like is just very very freeing and very empowering, but I know it's hard for some people. So what advice do I have for someone just starting their own AI journey? Well, the big thing is just start it. Just get in a tool and use it. Like I recommend Gemini. I feel like you may have a Gmail account, you may already use Google a lot. It's a less of a jump into Gemini, and Gemini, you can choose to connect it into all your other stuff. It makes it even more powerful. Copilot, if you're a big Microsoft user, personally or at work, Copilot is an excellent solution to integrate with, and I find it extremely powerful. I remember playing with Microsoft Copilot Pro and just being amazed at what I could create in that tool. It was so powerful compared to Gemini Workspace when it came out. I was a big fan of Copilot, and I joke Copilot has been snarky and told me my mom died. So it's my third out of a lot of AI tools, so it's still up there as my top 3. And then of course OpenAI ChatGPT. That is the OG. That is the one. November 30th of 2022. It changed the world. And and it's powerful, and it's evolving, and it's doing amazing things, and it pushed a lot of companies like Microsoft and Google to get off their butts and do something with AI, and that is profound. So my recommendation to you is, if you are still sitting on the sideline, stop it. Whatever your barrier is to this, there's got to be something you're curious about. You have a passion. If you've ever used Google, just switch to Gemini, gemini.google.com, and just put your Google search in there and just experience a very different conversation. And you're going to go from, millions of a Google search where you get a bunch of links you need to mine through, to a conversation that through a couple interactions gets you the answer you're looking for. And sometimes when you're starting a Google search, you don't know what you're looking for. You don't know how to put the keywords in. You've got to manipulate it a bunch of times. That's the same thing you do in the AI tools. You're having a conversation, you pivot, and just like you're discussing something with another person, you are having a conversation and pivoting, and you don't think about it. And that's where I feel like when you begin to treat AI like another person in the way that you have a conversation, it becomes so natural and so empowering. It's a next level experience. It's hard to explain. But it is a tool, and it is a tool. I feel like any other tool, it is a tool that can empower you. You have to be responsible and ethical with it. I don't know what that means for you. To me, I just want to use these tools to do good things, for people and for the work I do. I don't want to use it to harm anyone. And that is my goal. So just do it. Just get a chatbot and use it. That's, I feel like, the most important thing is just to begin. And then after you begin, you'll find a use case at some point, an experience at some point. The light bulb may just begin to brighten up a little bit, but keep at it, because when that light bulb turns on, you'll be amazed. You will have an experience that will blow your mind, helping your child learn. Learning something new, planning a vacation, exploring a new career path, getting ideas explained to you in different ways that make sense to you, is profound. So my recommendation is, please pick a tool, one of the top 3, and be safe and responsible, and just start using it. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. If you've gotten this far, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go this long, but my journey has been really exciting, and I'm looking forward to what our AI companies are providing. They're providing some amazing experiences, and I'm absolutely loving it. And looking forward to its evolution and capabilities, and and moving forward. So let's all keep moving forward. Have a great day, and see you in the next video.